It was a short week, so unfortunately, it will be a short show. We won't rush through, but we will tackle what we have. Show us all your best dance moves, because we always do. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. And that last young man reminded me a little of you. You back in the day.
He's got my moves.
Yeah,
he's got my moves.
Absolutely.
But as you mentioned in the intro, a short show, only a couple of highlights. We're right at the very end of the fall season.
Yeah, it's incredible how quickly it goes, and we're going to be spending a little time in Maple Grove this week.
We will be. We'll talk about football team first. Yep. Cardinals will travel to 7th-ranked Maple Grove to open the playoffs on Friday, and they are limping into the postseason after being shut out for the third straight week. It seemed as if last week's trip to Andover would give them an opportunity to break out of their funk, but it didn't work out that way. The Huskies are struggling this season as well, coming in at just 2-5, but they were strong enough on defense to keep the Cardinals from threatening in this one. Coon Rapids able to move the ball on their first couple of possessions, but both stalled inside the Andover 30. Huskies get going late in the first. Jeremy Newman hooking up with Nick Eliason for a 39-yard gain to the Cardinals 15. That set up the 31-yard field goal attempt. The kick by Alex Probert is wide right. There's no score after the first. Very next play, Cardinals pitch to Cortez Jackson, and he can't hold on to it. Zach Steckman pounces on it. Andover takes over at the Coon Rapids 15. Defense would hold, and there's still no score. Midway through the second, Andover on 3rd and 9. Nice little screen play to Tyler Goltz. He'll pick up 23 and get a first down at the Cardinals 31. This time the Huskies will convert. Newman looking for Eliason in the end zone. Great one-handed catch reaching back, and Andover takes the 7-0 lead. They'd add to it in the final seconds of the half. Newman is going to keep this one and come back to the left, dive for the touchdown. His team goes to the locker room with a 14-0 lead. Late third quarter, Newman and Eliason hook up again. Great pass, perfect position, easy catch for Eliason behind the defense. 3-score lead for the home team. After Coon Rapids 3 and out, Huskies find the end zone again. This time it's Hunter Wadden taking the pitch for the 5-yard score. That made it 28-0 early in the fourth. They add a field goal and the regular season with a 31-0 win over the Cardinals.
You know, another tough loss for our Cardinals, and certainly the 3 shutouts in a row doesn't sit well with the coaching staff. And, you know, unfortunately, it's going to get much more difficult when they travel to Maple Grove against the number 7 rated team in the state.
Well, here's some stats that I came up with while looking through the game footage. Cardinals made it to the 25-yard line on each of their first 2 possessions. They did not get inside the Andover 45 after that from the first quarter on. They converted 2 of their first 3 third downs. They finished the game at something like 3 of 12 or 3 of 11 on third down. So I don't know if Andover just made great adjustments on defense, but really after the first quarter, the Cardinals offense, a lot of 3 and outs and just couldn't get anything going against the Huskies.
Also impressed with Eliason on the outside, using that 6'5" frame against the shorter Cardinal defensive backs. You know, it's tough because these are our last couple of games. I felt Cardinals had an opportunity. Had they played well, they did not turn the ball over. They had an opportunity to get some wins.
Well, only 2 turnovers against Andover.
I'm just saying in general.
One takeaway. They were only -1 in the turnover battle, but you have to be able to move the ball on offense, and they were unable to do so. And they are going to have a very tough task in Maple Grove in the quarterfinals. Maple Grove ranked number 7 in the state. They are
they're good.
Actually, Totino Grace is ranked number 6. And Totino Grace, even though Maple Grove beat Totino.
Them. Yes, I don't understand that.
28-0.
I don't understand that.
But Maple Grove, the number 1 seed, will get Coon Rapids. Totino is the number 2 seed. That makes sense since Maple Grove beat them. They'll get Anoka first round. Centennial, a little bit of a surprise to me that they were the number 3 seed. I did not think they were that strong, but they did finish the season at 6-2. So deserving of that. They will host Blaine, a team that they put up 55 points against. And then Osseo, the number 4 seed, will host Champlin Park. Going into the game against Maple Grove, yes, ranked number 7 in the state. Their only loss, a 1-point loss to Osseo, and they average about 36 points a game.
Yeah, they're good. They're good through the air. They're good on the ground. Their defense is stellar. You know, their co-head coach came over from Wayzata, ran the Trojan defense for many years. So this is a tough D against the Cardinals. Are going to have a really difficult time trying to gain yardage against.
Well, this week will be state tournament for the tennis team, girls tennis teams, and for Coon Rapids, that means Heidi Hanula and Andrea Ream start their state run as the section champions on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. They play McLeod and McLeod, and this is just the bottom half of the bracket, so possibility of 2 matches for them on Thursday. Should they advance to the semifinal round, that will be held on Friday, and we wish them, of course, the best of luck.
Absolutely. Well, the volleyball team will start its section tournament this week as well, traveling on Tuesday to Maple Grove, the 11th seed to face the 6th-seeded Crimson. Cardinals finished their regular season schedule last Tuesday, facing one of the top teams in the conference. The Osseo Orioles came into the contest with a 10-2 record against Northwest Suburban teams and eager to bounce back after a less than stellar performance in a weekend tournament in Apple Valley. We pick up the action in the first set. Good volley going. Cardinals able to pick this attack up nicely. Set up Jessica Haig on the left side. She puts it to the floor, keeps her team close in the first. Cardinals are serving late in the first set. Coming up here, but a quick turn by the Orioles. They set up Shia Sanders in the middle for the kill. Osseo will go on to win the first set by a score of 25-17. Orioles serving in the second. Cardinals respond with a mid-court attack by Haig, but Osseo gets a great diving save. Keeps it in play. Sanders will score again with another kill from the center line. Osseo takes 2-0 lead with a 25-10 win. Cardinals fighting for their lives in the third. Haig is the only weapon working against the Osseo defense, and they go back to her. Haig comes through with one of her 11 kills in the match. It keeps Coon Rapids close. The Orioles are just too much down the stretch again. Quick turn off by the Cardinals attack. Short set goes to Natasha Kichaba in the middle for the kill. Orioles compete to sweep with a 25-17 win in the third. The Cardinals are going to finish the regular season record with a 3-22 overall record, 1-12 in the conference.
Yeah, tough season for this young squad, yep. And if they hope to make any noise in the playoffs, they would have to get some sort of offense from someone other than Jessica Haig. No one on the Cardinal roster had more than 1 kill against Osseo other than Haig, who had 11.
Yeah, and we talked about what the football team will have a tough challenge against Maple Grove. The volleyball squad also. They lost to them in 3 earlier. They're actually 21-6 in the number 6 seed
Says something about this section when a team with 21 victories is all the way down at the number 6 seed. The top 4 seeds in the tournament get the byes. Those are Champlin Park, Totino, Grace, Osseo, and St. Michael. Blaine, the number 5 seed, will host Irondale in that first round. Rogers and Spring Lake Park, the 8-9. The lucky winner of that one gets to take on the Red Hot Rebels. Centennial, the number 7 seed, will host Mounds View, and down at the bottom you see the number 6 seeded Maple Grove Crimson taking on the Coon Rapids Cardinals. And the winner will go on to play Osseo, the team that finish the Cardinals season.
On any given night, you know, I know they played them close in the first contest, losing in 3, but you know, hopefully we'll see a spark from this team. Give them a match.
And we actually did that match.
Yes,
and,
we did.
They definitely got progressively better, and that's something that I think the Cardinals, a script the Cardinals have followed all season long. They get better in sets 2 and then in set 3.
Right.
The problem is with how strong their opponents are. They need to start out a little bit stronger in order to make those contests close at the end and give them a chance to get a set and maybe pick up a little bit of momentum. The one benefit, and we talk about this a lot, I don't think the football team will have this same benefit because they did not play the Crimson this year, but because the volleyball team did play Maple Grove, and it was a relatively easy win for the Crimson. The Crimson may come in a little bit overconfident, a little cocky, thinking, oh, well, we got this, no problem, and already be looking ahead. You know, it's hard to say that any team will do that in the postseason. The coaches
to get them not to make sure they do not do that.
Do a good job of keeping them from doing that, but there may be a little opportunity there, and hopefully the Cardinals, especially with volleyball, I think it's a momentum game, and we talk about it all the time. Streaks, if the Cardinals can get good streaks going, you never know what can happen.
Well, as Coach Arcand said, this team is progressing, even though it may not appear in the scores that this team is progressing and getting better. So hopefully at the end of the season, they've got one last push, see what they can do against Maple Grove.
Well, we will be there on Tuesday night as they open the postseason against Maple Grove. Girls cross country team got in one last warm-up before the section meet coming up later this week. They were in Brooklyn Park last week for the Dundee Invitational. The Cardinals finishing a close third. I believe the winners were at 60 points, and the second place was at like 63. And then there was the Cardinals at 66, and then fourth place was like at 90 something. I mean, it was very close between those top three teams. You see the best finisher for the Cardinals, Elise Weimholt, finishing in fifth place overall. Del Castillo and Porter finished together in 11th and 12th. Oni Akaba is in 18th. Johnson finishes in 20th with Rachel Babe just a second behind her in 22nd place. Both cross-country teams will be in Anoka on Thursday for the Section 5 AA meet, hoping to get at least one, two, maybe a whole team to the state championships, which take place in Northfield on Saturday the 11th. And we've talked about it for the girls. For the girls team, 5 years in a row that they have finished in third place.
It's incredible.
In that section meet. Top two teams go. So they're hoping this is the year they can kind of get over the lip.
A lot of teams would love to be able to say they finished third 3 years in a row, but you're right. They won't settle for third. They want to be able to push for the top.
Yeah, it's a rather dubious honor to be third place 5-6 years in a row. They're gonna try and make it second place, get to state, and we wish them the best of luck. We'll have those results for you next week on Sports Night. Swimming and diving team will wrap up the season with what is now the postseason for the Northwest Suburban. They face Champlin on Tuesday. Then they have a couple of weeks off. The Section 7 AA tournament starts on Thursday, the 6th of November, and goes through that Saturday. And we will have the Champlin Park results for you next week on Sports Night. And everybody else may be done before we get to that section.
Well, that's very possible that it could be. So we'll see. We'll let everyone. We'll have to make sure they tune in next week.
Well, this week we will be doing some postseason action. Playoff volleyball at Maple Grove on Tuesday. That premieres at midnight. State High School League will not allow us to do live coverage of playoff game. The same goes for football on Friday night at Maple Grove. And we're hoping to squeak in another playoff game there, maybe for either volleyball or football.
Be great.
But if not, we will see the girls hockey team against Maple Grove on November the 11th. But that's going to do it for this edition of CTN Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continue to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including our Spiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.